Welcome to the Barbell Strikes Back. I'm James McDermott, joined by Miguel Porter. Miguel, the Open's over.
Yep. Yeah. 3 weeks down.
Yep. 3 weeks down, and I could not imagine another 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, I know I said that last time, but I'm exhausted from it. Again, I've only done these 3 workouts the last 3 weeks. I've only done 3 CrossFit workouts, specifically in that type of a format, barbells, burpees, that stuff. But like, I'm mentally over it. I'm also mentally like coming in and like helping with the class and being exhausted, and then afterwards or beforehand be like, all right, let me get mine in, because if I don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. And that's exactly how it was yesterday. So I'm done.
Looking at like how our gym does it, and even whenever I like travel to another gym, I like follow their social media pages too, and I like look at what other gyms are doing for the Open, and it definitely seems like now with the 3-week format, it's a lot easier for gyms to kind of put on like either like team building things or all that. I can definitely see kind of a selling point being like, it's just 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You wear your colors, you show up, you do whatever, you post some stuff on social media, this and that. 5 weeks though, I could definitely see either people not even wanting to start or completely fizzling out by week 5.
Yeah. I mean, week 4 and 5, that's always when like, oh, such and such has to travel. Can we find them a gym? Or people get sick, or they got hurt because they redid the deadlift box jump workout on week 3 70 times. And just so many things used to happen. Or the worst one, you forgot to record your score on week 3 or week 4. I think week 4 was the worst one, because now you're going into week 5 like really deflated, because you're like, I don't have that perfect all 5 scores put in. My leaderboard rankings all messed up. I'm quote kind of out of the Open, and now I'm going to come in and do Fran as like a punishment. That's how it was.
Yeah, you would see that a lot in the leaderboard of like it usually was either workout 3 or 4, and for somebody's score would just be like a dash. And sometimes like once you see one dash, it's just dashes for the rest, or like the dash, and then like you see them like trying to come back for the rest of the workouts. But yeah.
Have you ever forgotten to put an Open score in?
No, I think I've always done it at the gym, like before I even leave.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My I can't remember which year it was. It was a workout that involved toes to bar and clean and jerks, something like that. It was like a ladder, like 3-3, 6-6, whatever. And this is at CrossFit Clifton Park, when that was our sister gym. And so this is definitely like maybe 2013 or so. And Murph judged me, and right after I was done with that, I worked the rest of my shift, and then I drove home to Binghamton. And I was like, you know what? When I get home, I'll record a score, And I don't think you could do it on your phone back then. I don't think there was an app. So you had to pop on your computer and go on and go to the website. I'm like, I'm going to do it over the weekend. Of course, like there's so many days I'm going to be working on so many things, because I would do a lot of programming and a lot of other work for the gym on the computer. No way I'm going to forget. 8:00 rolls around Monday, and like that awful feeling. It's like, no, I can't believe I forgot. I didn't realize I forgot until I got home that night, and it just sucked, because like you just like there's a moment of panic, and you're like, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
You check the website, and then you see it's closed, and there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah, just in case like maybe they forgot this week to cut off.
Yeah. And you just try to slide your score in. But yeah, it that totally was a bummer. And then that it ruins the rest of your Open. You're like, well, actually, I'll be honest, I didn't do the next workout after that. I was out of the Open. I'm like, I'm done. There's no reason for me to do that. And then when it was like a ladder of like, it was like every 4 minutes or something of Fran, and it was the round of 15 maybe repeated over and over, something like that. It might not have been that year. That's something I'm remembering. I was like, I don't need to do that now. And I'm not going to do that now. So yeah, it stunk. But I'm glad it's over. This is my first time completing an Open since 2019. Got all 3 scores in. And
Nice.
I'm glad the foundations division was there. It was unique scaling this week for this wall walk workout. That was one of my concerns, which I was ready to. I've done wall walks on my fist,
Right.
so I was ready to do it, especially with this scaling option where the scale division, I don't know if you saw, only has to step over the line and go back. Did you see that?
No.
So it was very interesting this year. The wall walk standards changed a lot. In the scale division, you get your line, which I think it's 55 inches for scale. And I think that's for everybody. Your hands start in front of the line. You get your feet on the wall. You take your hands completely behind the line and then go forward again. There's your wall walk. You go back down to the floor.
Interesting. I know maybe it was 2022 or 2023. It was wall walks, dumbbell snatches, and box jumps.
Yep.
And I remember it because I think I judged Sarah Hume doing it. And they were kind of stuck. Both of them were kind of stuck in between. Should we scale it? Should we RX? And then we kind of looked at the standards. And I think the wall walk standard was something that was also like easier than expected. So I think we ended up going RX because I don't know if it was just like hands crossing the line. I think it was like a few steps in, but definitely like the measure was a lot shorter than you would have thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. Just, I guess, because you need it to be measured. So if you already have the line there, just cross that line, come back.
Yeah. And not make them go all the way far back or have a second line that's further forward
Right.
that they got to get to. But it was interesting. And it was interesting seeing people do it different ways too. Like Nikhil would lift his legs high on the wall and then step behind the line and step forward. Dan kept his legs low on the wall. So it was almost like he was holding a perfect plank with his feet pressing into the wall. And I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I feel like that's way harder. Like he's like, my abs and shoulders were burning holding it. But he's like, imagine just a perfect plank, just feet on the wall, because he wasn't lifting his legs very high because there's no incentive to. Why? Like, I guess you don't need to. But I thought to myself, I'm like, I don't think I could do that. Like just push back and hold myself like that. I think it'd be harder in a whole different way. So it's just interesting that the scaling option allows for multiple interpretations on just how you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I even though I wanted handstand push-ups, wall walks are interesting. I like them in class as well, just to see how people do them. Because everyone, even that scaling option, just showing how people kind of initiate their wall walks.
Yeah.
Like I'm another one who's like, immediately as I start, I push my hips back and then my legs go as high up on the wall as they can go. Like I'm trying to touch my feet up as high as I can go and then just kind of scooch my hands back.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people are the more like, I guess, structured step by step, legs in, hands, same time.
Yeah, I think typically when I teach it, I try to get people to reach their feet as high as possible on the wall, kind of like how you're talking about doing it. That because otherwise I see people bunch up and their knees start to hit the wall, or their hips because they start to sag. So I just try to get people straight and tight. It is cool to see, and handstand push-ups would have been interesting. I guess it's hard to like view the workout with handstand push-ups. Like, where would you even put them and why? You know, so they would just need a completely different workout, period. But with this workout, it's cool to see all the different ways of scaling the wall walk, and it just kind of makes you think. It's like, yeah, we should probably be doing some of that in class. You know, like the stepping over the line and back for the scaled. We do that in class where we'll just tell people, hey, take 2-4 steps with your hands, step back again. The line or a chalk line on the floor just gives you a target now to hit every time. So I do think that's cool. For the foundations division, which I did, the scaling was bear crawls. So you put 2 pieces of tape on the line that are 5 feet apart, and you just high butt bear crawl your entire body across it. And that's 1 rep, and then go back. There's another rep, and you do that 5 times. I saw some of the adaptive wheelchair athletes doing wall walks where their wheelchair was between two boxes, or two boxes at 30 inches was like just in front of the opening of their chair. And there was a line taped at either end of the box, and they'd prop themselves up and walk their hands forward to one line and walk their hands back to the other line. And it looked like that was a rep. So it's just cool to see like so many different ways to do that one thing and get the stimulus of the workout, and everybody can participate.
Right.
Whereas if we were doing handstand push-ups, I think it maybe would have been a little different, because some of those skills might have just turned into weightlifting of just doing dumbbell presses and stuff. And I don't know. It's just cooler to see everybody walk on their hands some way, somehow. Yeah. It just seems more unified that way. Yeah. Have you looked at any videos out there of people doing this workout?
Not since the announcement. I did tune into that while I was at work, here and there, just because it was a longer one. I had to tune out every now and then. But yeah, that I did see that one. So,
what did you think about the fact that you're so close to it? You're like, wow, like probably less than 10 minutes away. This is happening right now. Was that making it the reality of that the games is coming to town even more truthful?
Yeah, and honestly, I forgot about Spur. Like, I guess it had been in my mind, like maybe when I started CrossFit, and like we had like fall face off and stuff like that. But when when you told me that it was going to be at CrossFit Spur, I was like, what? Like my mind was like, which one is that? And then when they said Glenmont too, I was like, oh yeah, that's like super, like right there. I guess it's like kind of different direction than I would think. So maybe that's why it's not like the immediate ones on my radar. But yeah.
To be honest with you, I could not tell you where Glenmont is. And sometimes I think Glenmont is East Greenbush, because I don't know this area at all. Like I know where I'm at, but like I just drive places and I don't know, like, oh, Del Mar's over there and below it is Bethlehem, or if that's even true. I don't know where anything is around here, even though I've lived here for over 10 years.
Yeah, Glenmont is where my dad's shop currently is. And that's why I was like, oh, that makes sense why I forgot about this gym, because to me, like that drive is so out of the way. Like you kind of get to a point and then you have to go further and then you get to Glenmont. I think that's why. It's really not that far in distance, but it's usually you have to be going to something specific there. Like you're not going to brush through Glenmont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a pass through town.
Yep. But yeah, to see like familiar faces on the like live stream was also interesting.
Saw some of those.
Yeah.
I saw, who do I remember seeing? I was trying to see Shy. Art says he saw Shy on the live stream. I didn't catch him. I saw Mike Pickering from Avitas. He used to be a member of Albany CrossFit in Clifton Park. Who else did I see? Some of the Spur people I recognized, of course. I feel like I saw a fair amount of Avitas people, actually, now that I think about it. And I didn't really notice a bunch of other people. I don't know. Yeah. Who'd you recognize?
Well, the owners.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was like, I've seen them at like competitions and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So your dad's shop is in Glenmont. What do you think the chances are? Do you think he would enjoy CrossFit?
No.
No? Is he like a physical, go for walks, some kind of activity? Pickleball?
No. Pickleball.
Just throwing things out there.
No, not really. I mean, he is very physical. I mean, like all the yard work and stuff that like he does is like, it's a lot, honestly. He was a soccer player for a long time. But no, I don't think CrossFit is that style of their thing. Yeah.
Okay. How old is he?
Turning 6. No, that's wrong. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. 60. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So still very, very young. Does he have the personality that like if you thought he wouldn't be into it, but then he got into it and it's like now all of a sudden just decked out in the gear and totally, drinking the Kool-Aid and all about it? Do you think he would be one of those guys?
No. I
No?
mean, I
Okay.
could see him like getting geared up. Like he's definitely that type of like, oh, I'm gonna get all this stuff for it.
Hmm.
Um, but no, I don't think that the style would like work for him. I don't know if he could do it like a class.
No? Okay.
Yeah,
Not a class person.
I don't think so. No.
Interesting. All right. Flash forward one day he's taking your class.
Yeah, you never know.
uh, that'd be great. So yeah, awesome workout. Uh, painful workout when you're doing it. It definitely catches up to you once you get past the deadlifts because then you've already done a certain amount of wall walks.
Yep.
Definitely understand what everybody was talking about with the rowing. On don't kill yourself on that first row because if you go too hot on that, it would ruin your whole workout. Like I don't know how you'd recover from that unless you are like elite fitness level and just going that hard. And by that point, once you're done with the deadlifts, you've already done so many wall walks because you go wall walk, row, wall walk, deadlift, and then wall walks. That's like 15 wall walks, right?
Yeah.
Which is a lot of wall walks. I think a lot of people didn't realize that this is a lot of wall walks in a very short amount of time, and you're being asked to do them very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But if you look at like the old Albany CrossFit 12 days workout, it finished with 12 wall walks. Sure, it was at the end of everything, but those are miserable wall walks. And It's only 12 of them. You're like, 12's not a lot of wall walks. Well, it is when you do them all back to back like that. But I thought the format of it was great. For the scaling for foundations, that was interesting. Instead of calories on the rower, it was just 50 pulls. And when I first got on the rower, it's the beginning of the workout, so you forget that advice of don't go hard on the first row. But then I was like, why am I rowing hard at all? It's just every motion is a rep. And then by the time I got to the rower at the end, I was like, one, I don't feel like pulling that hard. And two, I don't need to at all. It's just, so it was like a nice smooth, just 1, 2, get all the way to 50. I'll do them unbroken, just by keeping moving. But I do like that as a scaling option, potentially for some people too, on pulls on the rower. Sometimes we forget about pulls on the rower.
Yeah.
Instead of the calorie being a rep, just have the work be the rep, and kind of take the monitor out of it a little bit. I think it's a good option for some people sometimes, or myself when I don't feel like doing all
Where did you see most people? You probably judge someone and all that as well. So did most people finish in class or like where did people end up on average?
Shy did finish the Masters RX. So he finished. I don't think anyone else finished.
Yeah.
I do know a fair amount of people did get to the last row. I can't remember who, but it was either you were getting stuck on the wall walks before the snatches, or some people stuck on the cleans because a large portion of our people went RX.
Yeah, that's what I figured when I saw the weight.
Yeah, only a few did scaled or changed to scaled, but a large number did RX. So they were going to get stopped by those cleans or the snatches. And then there were a lot of bodies on the floor for the wall walks. Once you see that that there's like 3 minutes left and you're on the wall walks, you just start hanging out on the floor longer. I saw a lot of that. People just, that rest was just ticking, and they were okay with it by the end. Because you also know you're not going to get to the rower now, and then you don't want to go do the snatches. You really don't want to go back to the next station after every set of wall walks. So I did see that. I think I gave out my only no rep. I gave out only one no rep this whole open because I think I only judged one person this whole open because I coached the first class. I just assisted and didn't need to judge the second class. No, I judged Terry. Yeah, but Terry was legit. Terry, I don't think got any no reps. But Chris, I no repped Chris on a wall walk. It was a heartbreaker. It was his last wall walk of the first set of 5. and he didn't get both hands back to the line. And he's like, well, Josh was right there too, because Chris was the last one to get off the wall. So Josh was just walking by, and all of our eyes were just on that right hand and the half an inch it was to the line. And then I looked at it and I looked at Josh, and he's just and I'm like, I know. And I was like, Chris, that's a no rep. He's like, what? And I'm like, both of your hands have to touch the line. And he was already struggling because he had missed his alarm earlier that morning. He came in wicked late. He was lucky because we did have one person who didn't have a partner, so we got him in there. He's trying to warm up while we're trying to switch out the weights, and heat 2 is ready to go. And I'm just like pushing the weights on his bar. I'm like, you don't got time for this. Like the next heat's ready to go. You know, you're just going to have to warm up on the wall walks essentially. And so he had to do 6 there. But all the rest of them were fine.
Right.
And his back line was kind of really narrow. So he was like scrunching in to get to it. And then I think it was his second set of wall walks. He's like, why is my line so narrow? And I'm like, or so short. And I'm like, you know, that's right. It is kind of short, you know. And then Josh fixed it. I was like, this is your punishment for being late.
Yeah.
You have a harder standard.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I figured watching the announcement as well, and seeing, I mean, they have someone who is NFL conditioned doing it alongside, and I think he finished at was it 18 minutes?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, like 18:30. So that's just under the cap. And that's someone who's like year round has to be ready to go, especially at this time of year where they're like starting to get into like more tryouts and training and free agency and all that type of stuff. So yeah.
And see, I don't know, but isn't the NFL conditioning and fit different for your position?
Yeah. As a quarterback though, I think that's more of that like athleticism. But again, it is that thing of just like sport to sport overall conditioning versus like, you could tell that it was really like the wall walks. Something where it's like, is he really doing these at all?
And you're just like, I hope his shoulder's okay doing all this.
Right, exactly. You could definitely see that his time on each wall walk was extremely different than, you know, the 3 other guys who were almost probably certain in their head that there would be wall walks and that have to do wall walks fairly often. So
yeah. And a wall, that if you're not training those or doing them regularly, what a kick to the stomach a wall walk is when you just realize your shoulders are gone and you're like, it's one of those movements where the first 1 to 2 to 3 don't feel that bad. They're almost you're like, oh, I love this movement. It's a great fun thing to do. It doesn't feel that hard. But then all of a sudden it's like you're like trying to run in sand or mud, but with your arms. It catches up to you so quickly.
For me, it's one of those where you have to go before your body realizes it. Like you touch the line, your feet need to drop, and you need to start your next rep almost immediately. Because if you like let yourself feel the thud of your legs slamming against the floor, you're going to lay there for a bit and you're going to go, oh my gosh, this hurts every time.
Yep. God, if I did that right now, my toe, I would quit the workout. My feet would be in such pain. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I have to go to my car now and cry because that hurts so bad. I've been seeing all these videos that people have been posting from the announcement, just like those guys were getting it done in sub 10 minutes, which is crazy. I saw Dave Castro show a video of this one girl trying to change the weights on the bar before the guy was done doing the wall walks. And I never thought about that before. I'm like, how can you go so fast? It's only 5 reps. So of course, but I don't think I would have been able to change the weights on that bar before he got back. And then now like that guy's going to be super mad. But like, that's gotta be stressful too. Cause like, you just have to grab the right plate and put it on and all that stuff. Cause he's coming right back. I just thought that was a funny video on just the pressure of the bar loader. But you can do multiple bars. I wonder how come more people aren't doing multiple bars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it went down in what was it? No, the cleans were 135, right?
225, 155, 95. No, maybe 135. What was the RX weight for the cleans? I don't even know.
I want to say it
One,
was 135.
yeah, it could have been. Because I know 95 is the snatch weight.
Yeah.
So it's just that clean weight's kind of actually, yeah, you're right. It was 135.
Yep.
Yep. That's what Chris was doing. Oof,
Yeah. So I guess you could do 45s on the outside and then
a bunch of
25s and 210s, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what we did. We had the bar loaded with the 25 first, then 210s, and then two 45 on each side.
Right.
And that's how Josh warmed it up. Josh did a great job leading class. We learned from the week before, and we had everything super prepped in advance this time. We had the whiteboard moved to the hallway side like we do for coaches development. And then we had 9 rowers pulled all the way up by where the rower would be. Then behind the rowers were stacks of plates, the exact plates that you would need if you were a scale team or an RX team, etc. And we already had the lanes built. So, okay, Celestino and Mo are going RX, then we only need men's RX plates here. And the bars, we just move the stacks right up against the whiteboards in the front now. So you just grab the bar you need, and then you already had clips, you already had chalk, you already had a clipboard and a pen. Everything was at your rower, and it was all color coded, and we had the floor taped. And had we not done that, it would have taken forever, just way too long, because Josh also had the plates organized in the order that you would put them on the bar too. Yeah. So it's like, and the way he had them warm up was just like they have in the cap thing, where 10 pulls on the rower, then go to your barbell and do 3 to 5 snatches, and then 1 wall walk. And that snatch weight's already on the bar. Now, once both partners do that, now put the clean weight on the bar. Put the 210s on if it was going from 95 to 135. 10 pulls on the rower, 3 to 5 cleans, 1 wall walk. Now put the 45s on. Now it's 225. 10 pulls on the rower, 3 to 5 deadlifts, 1 wall walk. Now the bar ends where it needs to start, and then you just reverse peel it off.
Yeah.
And as people went through it, Josh and I were moving around, getting the extra plates out of the way, making sure people aren't killing themselves, all that good stuff. So it went really, really well. And I think, we got caught off guard last week. The week before we didn't too much, but the first week was a simple week. Grab dumbbells. And here's the line. That second week kind of caught us a little bit. But week 3 went really well. Just had to do that extra prep.
Yeah. And I think of the weeks that could be the most varied in just having to set up is week 2, just because it is height based.
Yeah.
In measuring people off of their height to the bar. I think that will always just take a little bit more time as well to like finesse there. So yeah.
Yep. Definitely. And the nice thing about having all the plates at the station is that now there's no interpretation on what needs to be on your bar by anyone else. No, you don't need to get there with a 15 and a 5. You have 2 10s, or people looking at each other being like, okay, so how do we add the next one? Or Josh being like, okay, if you're an RX team, you need a 25. If you're a skill team, grab a 15. That's all too crazy. That's literally insane. So just have it already there with them, and they don't, one less thing for them to think about, and that's when Josh and I met about it. That's one of the things that we were talking about is we want to have as few things for them to have to think about as possible. Everything is just already there because they're already thinking about so much. The workout's going to feel this way, or, I'm going RX for the first time, or can I do all the wall walks, or I hate wall walks, or they have visions and dreams of finishing. They saw the announced, like they're thinking about so many things. So now for them to have to think, oh, do we have clips? Do we have chalk? Do we have this? Do we have that?
Right.
It's like, just get rid of all that. Check the batteries on the rowers before we go. Like I did that too, and I found one rower of 9%. It's like, that's way too close to cut it, because today that rower could be 9% all year.
Yeah.
It's gonna die right during the middle of that workout.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it happens. It won't happen any other way. The rower is literally programmed to die only in an important situation. That's just how those things work. So you got to check the batteries too on all that stuff. So yeah, Josh went well.
How did everyone feel? Like I know for some people this is probably I think first time signing up for the Open.
Yes. I know it's definitely Rebecca's first time because she just joined.
Yep.
I want to say Nyla did last year though. And Maria's done one before too. I think everybody might be repeats.
Okay. Yeah.
I think Nikhil this is either Nikhil's first time or he did it last year. Last year might have been like a first time year for everybody.
Yeah.
Or the year before that. Interesting. I'll have to look that up. But yeah, because was Nyla on anyone on Team Schaff or Team Miguel? Do you remember?
I believe she was on Schaff's team. I'm not sure if she was officially signed up in the app.
Oh, that's right. That might be skewing the memory a little bit here on because some people did do unofficial versus official. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Yeah, that'll be something to look at. But I think people felt okay with it. They were definitely happy when they were done.
Yeah.
I think that 20-minute time cap, it's a long time to let people suffer through it. But I guess it's weird because you have a 20-minute time cap there, and it's almost like there's two stimuluses. Like, it's a 10-minute workout for the people you're really testing or less. But then for everyone else, it's definitely a 20 or 20 plus minute workout. So it's kind of like multiple birds with one stone. Like, here's our long test, but then here's also just another test.
Right.
That pushes work capacity.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, I think it's like, I think finishing that in less than 10 minutes, unless you're like one of those elite guys, is like, that's a huge goal, right? Going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, because I want to say workout 1 is the AMRAP. Everyone's just going, you're getting reps. Workout 2 is a complete sprint for the elites. Like, that's less than 5 minutes, like 5-ish minutes for them. And then, because of like 100 total calories on the rower, like it's very much like you can push and you can go fast, but it's very much like what can you do?
Yeah. And it catches up to you when you don't think it's going to. Once you get the meat of the workout is the barbell stuff. Like, once you get into it, and you totally get done with the second set of wall walks or whatever you're doing, being like, I might go for a big set right now. I might try 10 or whatever. And then you start going, you're like 5. 5 is a good number. Because I totally did that. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna I'll rep these out. I even had like a little notion in my head, maybe I'll try to do them unbroken. Nope. I was like, I'm doing 5. So I did 5. I was using my rad shoes, worst shoes than ever to deadlift and stuff in, but we just had them. And so I was like, 5. And then on the cleans, I did 5s, did my muscle clean without an elbow push turnover thing. And then on the snatches, I did do a set of 10 on the snatches to start. And then after that, I did 5s. And I was glad that I did that. Like, it hit me metabolically pretty hard after that. But had I prolonged that into more sets of 5, I was starting to rest a lot more and losing that spring of like, normally like I'll rest walk, turn around, come back and start again, but I was starting to lose that where it's like a longer, wavier walk away, come back. All right, let's do it again. Kind of over the workout. Because for me, it was just an empty bar, 45 pounds. And they were like, they were going to be muscle snatches. And I was happy that my wrists didn't hurt at all on those. Either by that point, it was just numb because I was on my fist. I was wearing one of my winter gloves. So I had one black glove on, while I was doing the bear crawl and walking on my fist because I was like, I don't want to tear up my knuckles on this workout because I have to do a million of these right now. But then for the snatches, I started out wide with a regular snatch grip, and I was doing like the RDL to muscle, and I felt like I was bringing it down way too low. And I'm like, this is stupid. Like I did the first 10 and I'm like, I feel like I'm doing so much extra that I don't need to. So Shai was like, I was like, Shai, do you see me? My hands keep going. Like I kept narrowing it up because the narrower I got my grip, I just brought it to my shins easier and just flipped it up for a snatch. So yeah, my grip kept coming in for that. And then after that, there's another set of bear crawls, and then just the 50 calorie or 50 pulls on the rower. I was done with the cleans and starting that bear crawl set, or done with that bear crawl set within the first 10 minutes.
Oh wow.
So done with like a huge portion of it. I was moving, and then like the back half of it just I really took a long time on the snatches. That part sucked. That's when I started feeling it, like the Fran lung burn a little bit. And whenever I get that Fran lung burn, I also like my obliques start to like ache or like that. I don't know. Do you feel your abs on Metcons where like someone's stabbing you in the low back, or like your whole core is on fire? Do you feel that?
Definitely. And I mean, I've had my thing where I cramp in one ab every time when it's like I really start to like breathe heavy. It's like one ab where I really feel it. But I always get that like almost like achiness in my obliques as well, like kind of like from the back as well.
I hate that feeling so much because you just kind of have to wait for it to go away a little bit and just try to breathe. I think it happens when I'm not controlling my breathing, because by that point, like on the deadlifts, 5 reps, breathing through them, put it down, breathe, step right back in, do it. Like everything was very methodical. Even on the cleans, bring it down, touch, pull it up, and I would pause up here and breathe to make sure my elbows were through, and then bring it down. On the snatches, I was trying to speed it up and just the bend over, like there was no rhyme or reason to that at all. Like I had no rhythm to that. I had no feel of how I was going to even be able to do that. And that's when all of a sudden it started to like hit me, like when you get that kick in the stomach portion of the workout. And I'm like, oh God. And I almost threw up too. I had a little bit of orange juice come up. So I was drinking orange juice all morning. Cause I'm trying to take a break from coffee. Cause I've been doing way too much coffee. So I'm taking a break. And it started that morning. And so I just brought orange juice to myself and I felt it come up a little bit. And Shai was like, what's wrong? I'm like, I almost threw up orange juice all over the place. Thankfully I didn't. Awesome workout. This workout has to come back as a repeat. Like, I think if it has great, I think, retestability. Okay, you didn't complete the deadlifts. Next time you complete the deadlifts, and then maybe you complete those wall walks, and it opens the door for the cleans now. And you never got like it has. It's. I mean, it even looks like it. It just has so many levels. Oh, you got 3 wall walks just before the snatches, and then now if you can just get fit enough to get those 2 wall walks back, I just think it has great retestability for a future open workout. Do I want to do it again? No, I don't ever want to do it again.
Yeah, and I think just from like because it's like you give us 50 calories, that's already like easy analysis, right? Like I saw Concept 2 drop like a chart, all these like different programs were like, yeah, if this is what your rower says for your calories, this is how long it'll take you. If you're an elite athlete and you film this, you get your splits of each movement. It's very easy to see like where was I lacking here based off of where everybody else was at? Do I need to work on my rowing? Do I need to work on my clean capacity, my deadlift capacity, my wall walks, or just simply like transitions from element to element? Like, yeah, your wall walks are fast, but you take forever to walk to the wall to get down and then start your first one.
Yeah, and that's where I'm surprised on like some of like the clips of games athletes doing it where their stuff is so far away. And I don't know if there's a diagram of videos on if it has to be a certain way,
Yeah.
but I do see so many affiliates doing it where the rowers here and the barbells here right next to it, and there's at least 5 feet between them, because that's what we were trying to do. We were trying to create 5 feet of separation from everything, because it does say that on the score sheet or the rules. And also, we wouldn't have been able to make it work rower barbell,
Yeah.
unless we had a mirror side with equal wall space, and we only had that one chunk, closer to the board. So everybody had to be on the same side, which I do think was fun. I think the workout had like that shared suffering. There's so many bodies, so much going on, plates here, chalk there, the rower, etc. There is that cool moment where everybody starts the workout, does the 5 wall walks, and almost like in unison, pretty close together, move on to the rower, and then the separation starts to happen from there. That was a pretty cool thing to see. I am interested on why. I guess because you want it to be 25 wall walks, because it kind of almost seems like that 5 shouldn't be there if you just want to bookend it perfectly. But like that 5 there sets the tone too for the workout. You kind of have to do them fast, but maybe don't do the rower fast. Like there's so many things to think about with it. So yeah, I wouldn't retest it next year. Like give it a year or two, maybe 2027, 2028. But I do think it would be a good candidate to pop up and then see if more people can finish it, especially with such. I feel like this workout's going to have maybe more than normal. I don't know if they keep track of these types of stats of workouts that have a high unfinishing rate, where the majority, or like this 92% of people don't finish this workout, but 77% of people finish this workout. Like, I don't know if there's like stats on that stuff or if anyone keeps track of it.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, this workout, because it's not a limiter-ish one. I guess it's like you either start it off RX or you don't, right?
Yeah.
Where immediately, where I bet the ones that, which one, like workout 2, where 1, it's like double unders. If you don't have those, you likely won't finish, or if they aren't efficient. And if you don't have muscle ups, you can't finish. So I'm sure that those workouts do. So I think the mindset for a lot of the general public going into this one as well is like, oh, I can do all of this. I can do all of this. Like if I'm just working, this is my best shot at a workout that I can go, okay, it is timed and I could finish it just based off of me doing all of this. I may not have the capacity right now, but this is something that I can build to, even without like gaining a muscle up.
Yeah. The one before workout 2 was high skill. This one is like high grit.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like how tough are you? How much pain are you willing to take? Like, because the pain level is high, but not enough to like stop you, It's like, well, do you really want to go to the next level, or do you want to waste 30 seconds right now on this 20-minute clock? I think it had a lot of like little carrot things within the workout, even like with funneling people to go RX versus scaled. Like I bet a lot of people were like, that's the scaled wall walk, and they kind of felt like guilty about that's what they're gonna do, and they're like, I'll just go RX. I can deadlift two, because like you can deadlift 225, you can clean 135, and the snatch is 95. So they're not the most inaccessible weights out there. They're pretty standard weights that if you've been doing CrossFit for a long time, you've done Diane, you've done Grace, you've done, other things. You've done Nancy, which popped up a couple weeks ago. There's your 95. It's not snatches, but over at squats. So it's like, these are weights that you handle pretty regularly. When you go RX and your coach is like, let's scale this, and you're like, no, I want to do the weight. And now CrossFit's like, hey, you don't want to do the weight now,
Yeah,
and you're
exactly.
like, and really it's because you're afraid of those wall walks. But CrossFit's just like, well, come on, big man, it's only 5.
Yeah.
So I do like this workout. I like all of the elements about it. I don't want to do it again ever, but I think I like the idea of it. Actually, I would rather do this workout, thinking about it now, than the first workout again. That first workout just sucks. Like, just endless burpees and the dumbbell.
Yeah, and that is the thing about these two different types as well, where a lot of people, it is like, oh, it is a 20-minute workout versus the first one, which is a full 15-minute. But the difference is you don't necessarily get a reward for going faster in the first one. Your reward is that you have to do more reps. Whereas with this one, if you go faster, you're like, oh, I could finish this. This could be complete by the end of the time.
Yeah, it's like, all right, it's a 20-minute workout for most, but it doesn't have to be. You're the one that's making it. Look, that guy did it in 9 minutes. So it's like you're the one that's making it longer than it needs to be, because you won't get up and do another wall walk. And the no reps really hurt on this workout.
Oh yeah.
For I would say mainly the wall walk. I mean, okay, do another deadlift or whatever, but to get a no rep on the wall walk is like devastating.
Because you're really only getting the no rep because your feet hit the ground on your way back before you touch that second hand to the line. So you've done the full wall walk. You just didn't let yourself fully complete it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Any other day in training, that would have been great. You're moving on. Great job. But now you just had like a mistiming thing. And nope, you have to do wall walk number 6 now.
Yeah.
I think that's when you go to your knees and you just shake it out and just take a second. Like, instead of, a lot of people are resting like chest on the floor, hands built up here. Like, I didn't see a lot of people resting like this.
Right.
Like, or laying flat.
I always do the T for sure.
Yeah. I saw a lot of people just keeping the tension. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot of work. Like, like we have to teach people how to like let their bodies melt into the rest and stuff like that, instead of holding tension. I know Josh is going to do it tomorrow. Do you plan on doing this workout at all?
I really just don't want to row that much. That is genuinely the only piece of it where I'm like,
you don't want to be on a rower for 3 minutes?
I don't want to do it. But yeah, I mean, I like it. I think I do wall walks pretty efficiently, and I think those weights would be fairly comfortable for me.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you do have a 400-pound deadlift.
I have had.
You have had. Well, there's video proof, that the power's probably still with you, I would imagine.
But yeah, I don't know. Probably not, though.
Yeah. Well, up to you,
Yeah,
you could hit that, and maybe skip the squats before barbell club. Come in, do a couple lifts. Yeah. Well, either way, Josh is going to do it. He decided after he coached. We had some people from CrossFit come to do a thing beforehand, so he coached that, and then he coached our people. And then after that, he's like, I need a nap now. It's like, I'll just do it on Monday, which not surprising. That's exactly how I felt. I'm like, I don't want to do it. But if I knew if I didn't do it, like, I wouldn't have gone there today.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have gone over there today. I had too many things to do. I've been cleaning. I cut my hair. I had to see Opus. I'm planning on getting popcorn. Well, if popcorn doesn't taste right after this workout, no, the whole thing. And then I knew there's no way I'd be doing it on Monday. Impossible. So I just had to I just set up I didn't warm up for any of these open workouts. I just start them. We just am. It's like 3, 2, 1, go. Here we go. 5 bear crawls.
That's essentially how I did it last year as well. When I would do it after class, I would just go,
start.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't want to wait, so let's do it.
I can tell you, I do not think my performance is any different. It might even be tarnished. To do, like, it's like I told you about last week. Josh had that like nice long warm up and skills practice and stuff. And I'm like, you're going to want me to do this workout after that? I don't know about this. So I just ditched class and started coaching instead. And I was looking, I'm like, all right, the foundations is great to be able to let me to do this safely and what I can do right now. But also, this is how I might warm up. If you had me bear crawl, I would do it this way. If we hop on the rower, it's never going to be 50 calories, but I might just row for pulls. So it's like I can, by the time we get to the deadlift, I am warm. I've done 10 bear crawls and 50 pulls on the rower, which I think came out to be 21 calories. All right, I'm warm, and then we got to the deadlift, and it's a 95-pound bar. So, okay, I'm not worried about that. Just do sets of 5. And here we go. Now we're into the workout. And the deadlift was the warm up for the cleans and etc. So, yeah. So I didn't want to waste any extra calories. And then I saw I see all these days, because I had to get there early, I don't have a chance to check my gymnastics app for all of my, so I'm still on my streak of all of my gymnastics workouts, and every open workout is a kick to the nuts on what the gymnastics workout is going to be. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but I look at it and it's like 5 minutes in a hollow hold, a cumulative. And I'm like, come on. Like, I don't want to, like, it couldn't have been something at least when you're moving. And like, it's like, you just have to sit in the hollow hold for an accumulative 5 minutes. So, okay, if I do, that's 15 rounds, I think, of Tabata. Great. If I want to get through 5 minutes of it, I just the rough numbers in my head. Or if I want to go for 30 seconds, and now I know I'm not going to do it till later in the day because I'm tired from the open workout and coaching and helping set up all morning. And I've been there since 7 to noon, and I'm getting home after Hannaford. The only blessing out of all of it is when I got back home, my steps, over 7,000 steps. Steps were already done. That's nice. But then I saw that. I'm like, well, what's my gymnastics wear? Please be like Tabata Superman hold or something like that. 5 minutes in the hollow. Oh, it was a kick to the gut, literally. We got it. We've been getting it done. Nice. I haven't missed a day of steps or a day of gymnastics, other than when I was sick for the gymnastics. But then I just made it up the next day, so we can count that. So that's all going good. My hollow, I'm able to hold my legs really low to the floor now and like have like almost straight there, and then that like extra curve up. We'll have to have Josh take a look at it. But I feel like my hollow is improving. I thought my hollow was good before, but now having almost 3 months to work on it, I feel like it's definitely getting better. And I am noticing, like, I almost wonder like if this last workout would have been more difficult had I not been doing all of this. And the one before, I don't know. Like, I gotta imagine it's helping, So, yeah, I have been enjoying that, except for the days where they're like, yeah, do 400 side crunches, or this or that, and I cheated earlier because I used side crunches as a scaling option for something else I didn't want to do, and then for the first time we're doing side crunches is 400 reps. Yeah. Sometimes they really go like they program reps that I'm not used to seeing often, where they're like, yeah, do 200 of them, do 300, 400, 500, like the Russian twist, because they teach you to do that, like them so fast, like 500 of them today. Break it up any way you want to. I'm like, all right, it's going to take a while. Yeah. But Tabata's been my friend. I turned so many things into Tabata with like specific number goals just to chip away at the big number.
Yeah, that honestly, that makes the most sense. Yeah, because I would do like, all right, 30 seconds. But unless I was doing 30 seconds on and off, that would feel like too much rest. Or I wouldn't time my rest, and I would go, all right, 30 seconds on, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting for 2 minutes and then start again. So yeah, I think Tabata is probably the best way to like little tiny doses.
Yep, it's structured, especially if it's a side-to-side thing. Okay, do X amount of side crunches there, 10 seconds, flip over, write down the number, hit it there, and just use the Tabata songs and stuff, and the songs are like on Spotify have a built-in timer to them.
Yep.
Because otherwise you have to have a Tabata app and
Yeah.
it's not as fun, and you have to start and stop it. The songs just keep going, and if there's a delay in between songs, fine, I just lay there until the next one starts. But that is my strategy to get through a lot of things, is just Tabata it up, just for time management.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts on the Open?
I really like the Saturday format, doing it that way. And I've been liking the attendance of Saturday classes even before that. So I think that kind of helped that along this year as well. It seems like Saturdays have been a lot more packed.
Yeah, we had over 18 people there yesterday.
Yeah. So
not counting Josh, me, and others.
So that's great. And then, yeah, I hope it continues even after. Like, I hope like this Saturday, people aren't like, oh, there's no open workout, I guess I'm not going in. So yeah, I just hope it continues that way.
Should we change the workout for next Saturday to just a random open workout, like one of the ones you wanted to retest, to try to coax people in to keep chasing the feeling?
I don't know. Maybe
it's, or would that be like, too daunting?
Right. Like, you almost want to like ease people back into like, hey, no pressure now. You can do it however. But at the same time, you want to ride that high of like, remember how it felt to compete? Don't you want to just compete every Saturday?
Let's see. So next Saturday is the 22nd. Wow, next Saturday, March 22nd already. Looks like it's a partner workout. Walking lunges, kettlebell swings, goblet squats, devil's presses. Interesting. All right. Yeah. I think it has a nice mix of things that could coach people in. So yeah. No, I had a lot of fun with it. I think I would have liked to have been able to do it with class, but just probably not feasible, just maybe another year. If we have more heats or something like that. I saw some gyms did like a coach's heat. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, if we had a third coach's heat with just like me and Josh going, or if you're there or something, like, it'd be so miserable. we're all so tired. People are seeing the temper tantrums.
Yeah.
You're yelling at Mike because he gave you a no rep. That's the whole thing. Like, it's like, you guys don't want to see this coach's heat.
Going. They'd be so shocked by like, oh, he's been standing for a while. He has not moved. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm taking it easy.
Yeah. But then they're trying to like, they start off by like, come on, Miguel, you can do it. And you flash a look like, no, I don't want, I know I can do it. I just don't want to do it.
Right. Exactly.
Well, yeah, this is my one foray into the sport of fitness type of thing. We'll check that box off. I know there's other things coming up, like the Community Cup, which I don't know a whole lot about. I think that might be a team competition, or maybe there's another team competition coming up with it, or it's all open ranked. I don't know what.
It's always, I try to read it every year, and I always forget what it exactly is.
Yeah. I need the announcement and then the link to the thing, and then I'll know what it is. But like hearing people talk about it or mention it here and there, or an article that's too long to read and didn't have bullet points, I'm like, yep, because I'm already know that like I'm not going to do it, and I don't think people are going to want to do it. So like I'm like, well, I'm not going to read this.
Yeah.
I need like like the infographic where I can just swipe. Okay, step 1, this is what it is. Step 2, that's what I need, and I can be done with it in 15 seconds. That's it.
Yeah. So it's that we got. I mean, Memorial Day, we're halfway through March already. So.
Yep. So regional
come up. Yep.
Then Murph, and then the games.
Yeah, really.
And then the thing that people have been waiting for all year, the Albany CrossFit Combine.
Yep.
New format at a field
Hopefully.
with a track around it. We're gonna do 400s. We should do 400s if we've got a track there.
We could do 400.
We could do relays. Everybody will have a lane. That's official.
Yeah.
That feels different. And then you get the experience of like you're back here and everyone's starting difference, but like you're on the inside. You got the advantage for the outside. So yeah, that'll be cool, you know. And it's easy to actually, I don't even know what equipment we'd have to bring. Or it's like we do the sports field stuff, then all right, head back to the gym, and now we bench press. Or whatever, you know.
Yeah,
and then
we just need a couple cones. The line, well, yeah, maybe the cones just to mark them, but they should have the lines there.
Oh, that's right. They'll already have the football field.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we just need to scope out in advance which one is the best. Make sure they're not doing something there already. And then have a contingency plan if like we get kicked out, like if all of a sudden, you know, some staff come on over, you know, they were inside drinking their coffee and like, I'm going to go talk to them. You know? Cause you know, those are the people that are going to come into work on a Saturday, you know, have to come out there and talk to us. So hopefully that's not, but yeah, that's it. Nothing else I can think of. And we're still brainstorming like a challenge, you know. I can't remember if I told you, I know I told Josh, instead of like a nutrition thing per se, more of like a healthy habits building kind of thing where it's like, all right, 30 days and like you pick your things from these categories. Like maybe if it's like nutrition, but you know, maybe the thing on nutrition that you want to build a habit with is like eating breakfast every day. So you're trying to get as many of these 30 days as possible. It's kind of like how I like to do things. I like to have streaks going, you know. Okay, you want to hydrate more. So okay, start your day with a glass of water, and then like finding really, really micro goals that we can like ingrain into our daily lifestyles, and they can come from nutrition, they can come from recovery, they can come from fitness. Okay, you want to get into the gym more often. Well, here's your goal you're going to check off each week, or you're going to do these extra things outside of class. And it could even be too, you know, it's like maybe just even turning things off and reading every night, you know, like, so there's a lot of things that we can do with it. Mobility, we can have these categories and then give ideas, and people can think about their own lives and like what's important from this type of thing, or I can add in this other thing. And okay, now in the next 30 days, let's work on this. You know? And like we've talked about, maybe at some point, if you pick 5 categories, 3 of them fall away and you found really 2 important things that you want to be able to do. And those things make your life better, you know, making your lunch for work the night before and drinking a glass of water in the morning when you wake up. And you're like, wow, I feel I have so much more time. I'm less stressed and I am feeling better in the morning. That was a great change, you know. And now that's deeply ingrained, hopefully enough. And now I can add in another thing, you know. But that other, you know, one of those other ones, you know, doing yoga on my lunch breaks wasn't really working out. And after doing it for 2 weeks, I was like, yeah, I really don't like to do yoga. You know, like you'll find things out like that too, which I think that's a good way to like approach a challenge kind of. It's like sometimes we get enamored with things and it's kind of like seeing like the new product, right? Like the new ab blaster thing on the infomercial. And you're like, yeah, that would change my life. I really would want to do that. And then you buy one for $999. You use it once and then you never use it again because you were just more enamored with the idea of it than actually doing the work. And it would work probably, you know, but no one's ever finished a program on it probably.
Yeah. And I think like once you allow yourself to be consistent with something, you can now have a full-fledged opinion on it where, you know, you're like, yeah, but I don't really like what am I gaining from doing mobility every night before bed? But it's like you do it once, maybe twice, like every 3 weeks. So you don't feel the benefits. But once you've been doing it for 2 weeks every day, you're like, oh, I get this. Or maybe you realize it's not helping you to do it at that time or like in that way. So then you can then make an informed decision based off of that consistency.
Yeah. And how many people will, whether it be what you just said or some product or something, like, yeah, I tried that, didn't work. But they did what you just said. And it's like, wait, so now you're potentially derailing someone else because you tried it once, or it's like with CrossFit. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I did CrossFit. Yeah, it didn't work. It hurt my shoulder. And then like you flash back to like their time at CrossFit. They did 5 sessions, never listened to anyone. They were the guy going too heavy, whatever. And it's like, and then they quit the gym because someone told them we have to rein this back in or something. Like it's just that's why whenever people tell me they've tried something, when I'm saying I'm gonna try something and they're like being like, yeah, I tried, it didn't work, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'll find out.
Right.
I'll find out, it didn't, maybe it didn't work for you, but like, again, I don't know your track record, so yeah. And then I think people will find too, how easy it becomes once you go past a certain threshold, like for in the beginning, it's like, when I was trying to walk 7,000 steps every single day, it was kind of hard. I was like, all right, I had to do a lot of extra walking around. Now I kind of like figure out like almost like cheats. I'm like okay, if someone calls me during the day, I get up and I start walking. If that phone rings and someone's on the other end, I don't sit down and talk anymore. Like I start walking. And like if Joe Rod calls me, I might get 7K. If we're on the phone for a good 45 minutes to an hour talking about weightlifting stuff and everything, because like you don't even realize the tempo that you're walking at.
Yeah.
Like if I'm just walking and the TV's on and I'm just like trudging along trying to get steps, it's a much slower walk than if someone calls me and I'm absent-mindedly buzzing around the apartment, moving this paper, doing that, talking to Joe. And then by the end of it, I'm like, whoa, all right, I'm at 5K. I'm going to go to the gym right now, coach those classes. I'll be over, no problem. So you start to figure out like hacks and ways that like you can guarantee that you'll hit the goal. Where maybe before, if maybe I would have stayed sitting and then the rest of the day is harder, and then you don't even think about it. You're like, yeah, I didn't really move today, but there was an opportunity to move. You find those opportunities. So I think it'll be I think something like that would be different and cool for people. I don't know. What do you think about this?
Yeah, agreed. I think, I love a challenge, especially leaderboard-ish based with, because I feel like because of not always doing CrossFit classes, I don't always get the opportunity to like feel as ingrained with the group, or even like morning versus afternoon,
Yeah.
So if you give it to like everyone and like we're all doing this thing, it allows a lot more connection through there. Just seeing names and like seeing marks where you're like, oh, this person was in today. I saw that their mark for their thing was put down.
I'm trying to think. I guess like a Google Doc could like, all right, so like if everybody's, let's say if we have 5 categories, sleep, nutrition, exercise, mental, and recovery, let's say if those are the 5, or recreation, whatever it may be, and everybody picked one thing that comes out to them, there could be a list of ideas. That's 5 things you could be working on. That might be too many, I guess you don't have to pick 5. I think most people, if it's presented, they will though. And maybe that's a problem with the challenge. On like now you're just trying to do too many things. But maybe like an Excel spreadsheet, like a live document where you could check in and I could update it or something, or you could just go in and update your page. Like how would we be able to see each other on the leaderboard?
I don't know. Maybe it's going back to paper or like on the board somewhere where you can just mark. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm kind of in a anti-technology kick right now. I want to see things like physically.
But we can't do. I mean, I guess like a leaderboard. Maybe it's like a progress board because like.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're doing things different than I'm doing, than what Mike's doing, etc. Mike's like a cheesecake every day.
But it's almost
he's
like
going to achieve that.
When we did the climbing challenge.
Yes.
And you could kind of like shade in maybe like something like that, like almost like a progress bar, or like a calendar. You
Yeah,
just
I
mark
like
in.
that.
Yeah.
That way people come in and color it in.
Yeah.
And then it could be like everybody gets a sheet. So let's say if it says this is Miguel's sheet, it's got day 1 through 30, 30's at the top or whatever. And then underneath it has written in like sleep by 9 p.m., breakfast in the morning, read, blah, blah, blah. And then you just shade in all the days that you accomplished those micro goals.
Yeah.
And then people can look. And then maybe someone looks and they're like, whoa, what happened to your breakfast in the morning column there? Like, well, I've abandoned that one,
Right.
or whatever it may be. Yeah, I think we could easily do that. We have that board that's right there where the plates are, and that's kind of a board that is less likely to be disturbed by anything. No one's going to kick up into a handstand over there. So yeah, I like that idea. Just have to get our roster of peeps. Now, I did want to talk to this about you. I do have a daily habit of Mike Tyson's. So I don't know if this is true. I don't know a whole lot about his training history, but this thing popped up in my feed this morning, and I was like, that's a lot. But I understand it given where he came from, and because of his upbringing and background. It's like, well, you would work this hard if it meant this, if someone told you this is how you get out of here type of a deal. This is how you improve your life. This is what's your future depends on. So it says Mike Tyson's workout involved getting up at 4 a.m. for a 5-mile jog. Then he would do cumulatively 2,000 sit-ups, 500 push-ups, 500 dips, 500 shrugs, and about 30 minutes of neck bridges daily. I mean, when you look at him, you're like, okay, the muscles are there. Like, he looks like someone who could do that. There's people that go for crazy runs all the time for fun. So like the 5-mile jog isn't like a crazy thing, unless you're not a runner. So I could see that. And running is big with boxers I don't know if it is anymore, but I know back then, everyone used to run. That was like a thing.
Yeah, that'll never leave boxing. That and jumping rope are just like, that's your only options for cardio.
Yeah. So, I mean, and it says cumulatively, so it doesn't mean that he did 500 in a row. We don't know how he broke it up or anything, if he's doing sets of sit-ups, push-ups, dips, and shrugs, how long it took. All right, how long do you think it took him?
Depends on the day. I'm sure because it's him, right? So it's like he could come back straight from the run and hit at least 100 of each thing easily.
Yeah.
And then like breakfast or like a shake, and then probably hit more, and then go do like his regular training, probably hit some there. Yeah, I think that's like before second session, he's probably done.
So that's like a cumulative throughout the morning / day.
Yeah.
Which he has plenty of time. He's up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And the jog is already done. I don't know what time he's going to bed. And he probably is eating a lot of food during the day. Yeah, I don't know if this is done in one session. Just because I guess to think about if it's done in one session, we can't really think about sit-ups, push-ups, and dips the way we think about them. On like, he's not doing dips on the rings. They're going to be on a parallel bar, and I bet you his legs are bent. It's just classic style.
Yeah.
The range of motion on those might be better actually than the push-ups. So I don't know what Mike Tyson's push-ups look like. Is the standard chest to the floor. I bet he does keep everything flat though. Like rigid. Like, I don't think he's Mike Tyson's not sagging at the hips on push-ups.
Right.
And he's also not doing those ones where you fatigue and you tilt and whatnot. Like that doesn't happen. That would ruin everything for me if I saw a video of that happen. I don't know why. the shrugs, that's actually not that bad. I mean, would it kill my neck? I wouldn't want to do 500 shrugs, but like that too is like, I don't know how much weight, and they're just probably fast, quick little shrugs. That makes sense. I almost feel like the push-ups is the thing here. What do you think about this?
I don't even think so, because it's like, even I did boxing for like when I was younger. Push-ups become very routine when you're a boxer, because you're doing them all the time. Yeah. So it's like the volume that you can obviously build on that, and like to the level that he was at, I think push-ups are kind of nothing.
True. And the sit-ups, that number looks big, 2,000, but again, these aren't ab mat sit-ups.
Yeah.
One, Mike Tyson's not doing sit-ups with his legs open. Like I don't, and he's also probably not worried about touching his toes.
Yeah.
If anything, I could see him doing. For some reason, I'm picturing one of those benches, the incline or decline bench. But if he's on the floor, I think his feet are bent and they're just little crunches. So I could see him doing 2,000 of those. Yeah. The neck bridges. 30 minutes of neck bridges. I don't know what that means, but that's
that's literally like lying on your back and then just putting all your weight just on your head, essentially, and like you like roll around. A lot of wrestlers do it as well.
I feel like that's like the best thing you could, like, such a good thing to do, maybe, and like actually get it strong, but it's like one of those like forbidden.
Yeah, no, I think I've talked about it before, because it's something that I want to do. Because I again, it's like a wrestler thing as well. Like they can do crazy stuff where they'll just walk their legs around like in a circle with just like using their neck to pivot, and like the little flips and stuff that they do, like just off of their head and all that, just to like get the neck strong.
Well, it's like, I feel like it'd be so like all right, look, like for the barbell club, like if we got our neck strong like that, I feel like that would be good for our lifts. I think that would help the jerk tremendously. But like where we're all starting at, like with like most of us, having desk jobs, like everybody's neck is so weak. It's that's probably the weakest part on everybody right now. Like I just feel like boom, we'd be instantly injured. Like we'd have to like really ease into that. That'd be terrified to announce that. Like, look at when we do forward flips and stuff. No one wants to do those, and that's, we're not supposed to be on our neck for that. But it's like in neck involvey, and everyone's like, I'm out already. Huh? Yeah, I think I believe it. I don't know. I could see it. When you look at prime Mike Tyson, yeah, he looks like he could probably do 500 push-ups. That it all of a sudden does. I mean, look at Murph. Murph is 200 push-ups. So he's only doing 300 more, and this guy's professional, best in the world.
Right. Yeah. When you put it in terms of like Murph and stuff, yeah, I could see him probably doing all that stuff in like an hour, not including the neck bridges, because that's 30 minutes. But
yeah. So like, with like, he's just probably just starting his day like this, just getting up, going for a 5-mile jog, getting back, having some, like shake or something, and then banging all this out. And then he could probably nap, napping and like resting is probably part of his program. And then at probably some point around like 10 or 11 or noon, he shows up at the gym and they do some boxing drills, or he spars or something like that. And then, yeah, I could totally see that. That's a full day, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Especially like, I don't know if this is prime Mike Tyson or the Mike Tyson on the build up. I almost want to say this is like prime, like established Mike Tyson, because like it would take time for someone to get up to this, to build up to this. So obviously he'd been working for it for a while. He's not like a rookie or anything anymore. And like the physique in the photo, like Like
Right.
he looks like, I don't know, he looks like kind of like a CrossFit Games athlete almost,
Yeah.
Except he could kill you with one punch.
Right.
Could he do all the pull-ups and stuff? No, but crazy fit in a different way, And it's
Definitely.
like, it's just, it kind of makes you think. It's like, I don't know, what's more impressive? Like, I think it has to depend on the activity, right? Like, the CrossFit thing is impressive when you watch someone do 25.3, but I bet it'd be really impressive to watch Mike Tyson do this workout, and then and maybe also to watch his match performances, and be like, wow, like that's like his fitness actually in action right now, like
Right. Exactly.
on like how he's expressing it.
Yeah, it is that thing of like where does the carryover come from the most? Like, because boxers are crazy. It's the same thing with like wrestlers too, where it's like the conditioning that they have, they're like metabolic because it's you versus somebody. Like you have
Yeah,
to at the very least make sure that you can outlast them. Um, so the like conditioning that they have, plus the added level of like being against somebody, having to take a punch, throw a punch, evade, think while you're doing it. Like a lot of times in CrossFit, we can kind of shut off our brains where they
yeah.
have to be like there and present the entire time.
And reading and analyzing, and looking at the other guy and anticipating. And I wonder if like with like this workout, like I don't know where it came from, if he made it up, if his coach gave it to him, but like imagine getting punched by a guy that does 500 push-ups, 500 dips regularly, and then you see his arms, and you're like, they're just hunks of muscle,
Yeah.
and they're not weak, they're crazy strong, and all the other stuff that he does, and that's on top of like hitting the bag, and like that's just like the foundation, and then he actually like hits the bag and builds up everything else with it. Do you think there's a part of that program that comes from all right, I gotta do my push-ups, I wonder if that other guy's doing push-ups, how many push-ups he's doing, all right, I'll do 200 push-ups, what if he's doing 250, all right, he won't do 300, all right, no one's gonna do 500 push-ups, I'll do 500. Do you think there's some kind of that on like what are other people out there doing, and then you just arrive at like a number that, especially back then, people would be like, that's a lot of push-ups.
I don't, I think boxing culture is very different. Like, I feel like Mike definitely wasn't the only one even hitting these numbers. Like, I feel like if you've like interacted with boxing coaches, like I have like very limited, but they're the type to like you talk to them and you're like, I want to start boxing. They won't even say anything to you. They'll just write on a scratch piece of paper, be like, hey, this many push-ups, this many dips, this many miles running. When you're able to do this within this amount of time, I'll start training you. I feel like
Oh,
it's very
okay.
much like like training, like it has to be a regular thing. And like I'm sure everyone that trained at the same gym that Mike did, that was also a part of their like protocol of just like this is what we do. In addition to your training, your job is also to hit this.
That's pretty cool, and that makes sense. On like, it's almost like show me you really want to train too.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
because how many people must stop by and they're like, yeah, I want to be the champ. I'm tough, blah blah. Like, all right, well, here's how you'll get there. This is step one, and oh, you don't want to do that work? Then we can't do this other work.
Yeah. I really I think that's for a lot of people, that's probably what they experienced. Like for me, before it was like even yeah, depending on where you go, it might be like more commercialized and they might want to like buy you in. But if you have
Mhm.
an established coach that he owns the gym, like it's paid for, he has great
Yeah,
athletes, you have to earn your spot.
yeah, and I don't know if it's like weightlifting. Like the old school weightlifting coaches didn't charge people,
Hmm.
like when you like all like in the 90s and the 80s and stuff like that, they had that established gym and they had the lore behind it and their past champions, and then you popped in and they would coach you. I don't know how they made their money or whatnot, but they didn't really charge people. And then when people started charging, that's when there was like a culture friction thing with the old people and the new people. I wonder if it's the same in boxing on like, okay, that kid has potential and he'll do the work. Fine. Come on in. I'll spend hours a day with you now.
Yeah.
Kind of a deal. There is a romantic element to that. Is there not on like,
I think boxing is probably one of the last like untouched mediums for that. I think. I know it's like a big money sport, but I think like at its core, it is a place where like I mean, I went to my gym was LA Boxing, like in Loudonville. But like my coach also coached at a gym in Albany where it was like that. Like one of my older cousins used to box and he never paid because it was like that's the gym in the neighborhood. You just go in if you're a kid who wants to work and is okay with taking coaching as well. Like they will just coach you.
Yeah. And I mean, especially like in some places, they're like, yeah, we want you in here instead of out there. And they'll also teach you how to be an adult and lessons and consequences and responsibility and things like that. Yeah, it's it kind of does seem like a thing that's like going away a little bit, which is a sad thing as things get more commercialized, as gyms get more, mainstreamy and polished, and all the rowers are nice and this and that. You've heard me bicker with people about like it doesn't matter what rower you have, because it really doesn't. Like you need that black rower, or you can't. What's wrong with this rower? I pulled down rower number 8 for my workout. Like all the rowers were available. It didn't matter. It was I just needed a rower, and I'm happy to have a rower. Some people don't have a rower, so I'll just get on it. And some people can't get on that rower. I'm happy to get on it and pull for 100 pulls. But it's like I don't know. It's you almost like wish it could like take a step back, because back in the much earlier days for CrossFit, it was like kind of like a little more raw like that, on like everything was like scrappy and rusty and different, but now you have things like there's F45 out there, which is I guess like CrossFit, but it's like your rower has branding on it and all this stuff, and it's or Orange Theory, where it's like just these pre-programmed circuits and mood lighting and other stuff I don't know anything about.
Right.
It's like, okay, I guess if people need that, that's cool. I don't know. Every time I hear someone complain about too much about like the circumstances of something, of like it has to be that rower or that bike or something like that, there's a little thing in my head that goes like, not a champion. I don't know. Like there's like a I don't like there's like I feel like Mike Tyson doesn't need a fancy, like he doesn't need that. He just needs the work. He just needs the place. He just needs support. So it's like I don't know, when people complain about things like that or plates or whatever, it's like I don't know. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Like not a champion. Like I don't mean like an Olympian or something, but it's like there's something that's not there. It's okay if you don't have it. That like if someone else has that thing and they tried, I bet you they're like gonna like really.
No, I 100% get what you say. Like that's what I say in my head all the time. I in fact tried to fabricate these scenarios so that I can make the better choice.
How are you fabricating that?
Sometimes you grab that one squat rack that kind of tilts in. And when you put your weights back, it kind of feels uneven, but it adds that chip on your shoulder.
Yeah. It's like it's all right. I mean, all right, we don't want a million dust bunnies everywhere. Like things do have to be clean and sanitary and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like if you can't perform or your workout's ruined, if this thing isn't like that, or like the boxes. Okay, you didn't get one of the adjustable boxes. You have one of the old boxes now.
Or like, if you can't, I was thinking about this on Open Workout 2, where we used to have like people taping pull-up bars and using grips. And it's like, God. You mean you can't do this workout if you're not taping the pull-up bar.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like,
Yeah. I think I bet people are like, oh no, it's smart. It's you're squeezing every advantage you can within the rules and stuff. I just think it's soft.
yeah,
I think it's like, okay, this is why. It's not why, but I'll say this is why you're not going.
yeah,
You know,
it's a contributing factor. And there's definitely a difference between like, yes, this is what I do versus I cannot do it without this.
yeah, and it's it's why you won't be the champion. It's why you're not going to the big fight, so to say, and whatnot. It's essentially hitting the snooze on 4 a.m. because 4 a.m. is hard.
Yeah.
Like the, Mike Tyson gets up at 4 a.m. and then does this stuff. So many people aren't getting past that, just the alarm going off.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, all right, you needed that extra 15 minutes of sleep. That's why you're not a champion. That's why you're not going, you know, because it really didn't matter. Just like the rower doesn't matter. The 15 minutes doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You should have just got up and started running, you know, or don't worry about taping the bar. Get better pull-ups.
Yeah.
Okay, they put double unders first. Why haven't you been working on them? All right, you're just going to complain about them, or are you going to try? You know, so we did have a workout like that many years ago where double unders were first, then the snatches, and everyone lost their minds. But then some people got double unders because they were forced to work on them for 10 minutes, which it's funny because it's a 10-minute workout. And how many times have you heard someone say, oh, just spend 10 minutes before class or 10 minutes after class working on your double unders, and they'll come. And it's just kind of funny that the open workout for some people that year was the forced 10 minutes of practice that they didn't want to do when their coaches told them they should probably do it or asked them to do it all year. That was your open workout.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. So yeah, it's cool. It's good things to think about, especially if you're an athlete, on like, do I have any things like that are holding me back? You know, and it could be something that you're not devoting time to because it seems hard, but you haven't given it a chance to build up the habit through repetition. Or it could be little things on like, okay, I left my knee sleeves at home. I can't do the squat workout today, or I don't have my favorite pair of shoes, or my shoes are ruined, or the squat rack, or there's so many things that we can that start to compound, you know, especially if you let them compound because of other things going on in your life, you know, like they're not really a big thing, but they're the last straw thing where like, all right, your boss yelled at you, tripped over the cat, and some guy cut you off on the way over here. What a terrible day. And then you get here and you find out that someone has your favorite squat rack. And then you have a bad open performance, and now it's the world is ending and whatnot. It's like, no. You should be able to overcome that, and you could. You just decide to allow all those other things to be a factor. I don't know. So we make things harder than they need to be sometimes, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we all have relatively pretty easy lives. So even if you got yelled at by your boss, tripped over the cat, a guy cut you off, you didn't get to have lunch, you're doing really, really good.
Yeah.
Like compared to a lot of other things going on in the world. Like you got to trip over a cat and get yelled at by a boss and live and other things, you know. That cat didn't try to eat you, you know, some guy didn't try to kill you. The guy that cut you off didn't follow you after that and try to kill you, the whole thing. And just the worst part of your day is someone beat you to the rower. Like, not a big deal. Just happy to be here. Just rowing away. Oh, that's how I think about most things. It's like, oh, this really isn't a big deal. Not a big deal.
Agreed.
I'm very fortunate for this to not be a big deal right now. So I will just continue on. Any all right. My last question about this whole Mike Tyson thing. Should we try this workout at the gym or in some way? Is this maybe it's more of a partner workout?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, we could build on this, right? Okay, maybe I won't share now. Maybe we can do something with this type of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, as soon as I said that, I instantly regretted it. I'm like, maybe a partner workout because the 5 mile run alone and then the 500 push-ups, like this is a lot. And like, also, what are the standards? We're using our standards, using CrossFit, unless we decide to use like just gym style standards. We could find we find videos of Mike Tyson doing dips. Those are how we're doing the dips. Like that's standard for that day, you know? And also, yeah, you get yourself rhabdo doing this guy.
Yeah.
All right, let's think on it. It might be fun. Might be fun to do it. Or if we find another similar workout, maybe teams of 3. There you go. Something like that. I don't know. We'll think about it. Any closing thoughts on just the whole idea of it?
Yeah, I guess for if you're an athlete or you're looking to like, I don't know, build on your base or, you know, really just anything, find your like, with regards to everything that we've been doing for like this new year as well, like find your non-negotiables. Like at my base, my equivalent to Mike's 4 a.m. wake up 5 mile run and all these other exercises, like this is my base. These are the things I'm going to do every day. Your steps or your core 365, like these are the things I'm going to do every day. And then, yeah, you'll see how it builds on your, you know, just your health and your overall life and mindset. Yeah, I think as an athlete for sure, just having your core kind of, these are my things that I do every day to be better.
Yeah. And I think, you know, it's good to have non-negotiables that, because it's easy, you know, like people get frustrated when things they want don't always happen, especially because like, all right, the weather's bad or this or that or blah, blah. But if you have these things that are like, nope, like for me, it's reading the Bible. Like nothing can take that away really. Like if you have these non-negotiables, something is always yours.
Yep.
And it should be something really, really important to you that, like you said, builds out the base, because you can't build up anything higher than it currently is without expanding the base. So I think it's something, like you said, you and I have been working on, and we gotta get the gym working on now too. So
yeah,
now that the Open's over, this will be a good start. Maybe I'll keep working on it. Maybe this is an April 1st kind of a deal. It'll be a nice April challenge.
Yeah.
Spring cleaning. I don't know. Find a name for it. Cool. Awesome. Well, we got it in. And look at that. You know, we went later today than we normally do, but we're trying to be consistent.
Yep.
No excuses. We made it work. Miguel, where can people follow you?
On Instagram at Couldn't Be Miguel.
Couldn't Be Miguel. Follow me, James St. McDermott, Albany CrossFit Barbell Club, Barbell Strikes Back, all the places. And yeah, Miguel, good talk. Thanks for coming on. Everybody, thank you for listening.
Thank you.